Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our latest episode of Prep Rally, a podcast focused on Catholic high schools in the Diocese of Phoenix. My name is Abigail Standish, and I'm your Prep Rally host. I'm the coordinator of Catholic social teaching for the Diocese, but my background is in high school ministry, so I'm extremely excited to be here with y'all today. Before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Catholic Education Arizona. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast and for all the beautiful work you do in our state to support Catholic education. On today's episode, we have 3 incredible guests here to talk about how they spent their summers. I'm excited to introduce Carlo Bernardez, Rachel Kuczaj, and Robyn Bridgeo. Welcome, y'all.
Hey,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited y'all are here. So first, I want to start by kind of going around and introducing ourselves. So if you can tell us what school you're with, what grade you're in, or what you do, and something fun like a hobby or extracurricular activity that you have. Carlo, let's start with you.
Okay. So I'm a junior at Brophy College Prep. And I guess a hobby that I like to do a lot is, or my main hobby is, robotics. I spend most of my day after school, like 5 days a week, just kind of down working on robots and building and doing stuff with my team and my classmates. So
that's really cool. So what is okay, I don't know much about robotics, so tell me if my lingo is wrong, but what is like the coolest or I don't know, most unique maybe robot that you've built or that you've worked on?
So at the school, and we're planning to do revisions, so I haven't necessarily been able to kind of get my full hands on it, but I've been able to drive it, is the t-shirt cannon that we kind of bring out to all our school games. So
okay,
shoot like 10 t-shirts out to a game, and we have like a little saying on the bags like, I caught this from the t-shirt cannon. So
that's really cute. How far can the t-shirt cannon shoot a t-shirt? Do you know?
Probably 2 stories high.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. That's really impressive. That's so cool. Thank you. Welcome, Carlo. We're so excited that you're here. Rachel, if you'll go next.
Yes, so I'm Rachel Kuczaj. I'm a senior at Notre Dame Prep, and one of my biggest hobbies is swimming. I'm on the varsity swim team. I've swum on that swim team for 4 years, and I'm also a club swimmer, so I swim probably 4 to 6 times a week every week. And I love it. I love swim.
Wow, that is just so incredible. And in Arizona, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What kind of style of swimming do you do? Do you freestyle?
Freestyle, yes. Freestyle and backstroke are my 2 favorite strokes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How long have you been swimming for?
Since I was little. Like, that's always been my sport. I started in the water when I was 2, I think, and I've never stopped.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. We're so happy that you're with us. Okay, and Robyn, if you'll introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Robyn Bridgeo. I'm the director of Advancement Alumni at Bourgade Catholic, and it's an amazing school. One of my favorite things to do is just basically spending time with my family. I did a lot of crazy stuff when I was young, and now I just want to spend time with them. So
that's beautiful. And how long have you been at Bourgade for?
Just since March.
Oh, incredible. Well, welcome to the Catholic schools of the Diocese. We're happy that you're here and that you're with us. So, okay, Carlo, we're going to start our next question with you. So you're a part of the Bronco Chill Patrol at Brophy. So can you kind of share with us more about what the Chill Patrol does and what it is?
So last summer, the director of the Office on Faith and Justice at our school, Mr. Drew Rao, he decided to start the pilot program, Bronco Chill Patrol, and chose 12 rising juniors. So me and 11 of my peers, every 2 days for 2 weeks, in the month of June, we drove out on a bus and we kind of went through main underserved spots of Phoenix where the heat relief infrastructure kind of failed to hit. So Solano Park is a big one. A lot of those who are experiencing homelessness like to sit underneath those trees just to stay cool. So we would drive around in a bus. We have packets of water, coolers filled with cold water and ice, and we would just kind of hand them out to them. And not only do we just kind of, it's not like more of a drop by and drop stuff down. We kind of just go down and we personally hand it to them, and we sit and listen to their story, because we found that not only does kind of just giving them this vital resource in the rough summer heat, but it also kind of rehumanizes them, right? Because many people today, and it's unfortunate, but kind of just brush off those who are experiencing homelessness, right? You'll see someone who is holding a sign outside on a corner or in a parking lot, just asking for some spare change. And most of us would kind of just turn a blind eye. Oh, I'm just walking to that shop. And that's kind of putting them on a lower level. They feel less than human. They're more of like a side thing in everyday world, and that really brings their morales down. And not only do they have to deal with the heat, but they also have to deal with just kind of like that mental pressure of no one really recognizing them. And they were once a part of our society back then, right? It's just unfortunate circumstances that kind of brought them down to that situation. So even just kind of talking with them and hearing out their story over a bottle of water, it really we've seen their faces, light up. We just kind of sit there for like 10, 15 minutes listening to their story, and they're really thankful. Like they've started to kind of they're eager to share, like, this is my experience here, and they want more people to know that it's dangerous out here, right? Heat strokes are super common. We always have to along with the water, we bring out flyers, and we hand them those flyers, which contain the locations and addresses of all the heat relief centers in Phoenix. So from cooling centers, which is just a big room with AC that they can go to water stations where they can get more water from. That's not always kind of distributed properly throughout the city of Phoenix, because not all of them have a phone. They can't just kind of read emails and stuff like that. And handouts are almost non-existent today, at least, or they can't get a proper grab at one because, again, they're kind of treated as like the low side of, like, oh, they're kind of mixed in with the trash, right? We don't associate with those people. But the Chill Patrol had made it its mission to kind of talk to those people and really show the rest of the city, like, these are still people. This could have been a coworker like 10 years back. Like, this could have been someone who had a family, he's making income, he was kind of doing groceries with you. And now, he's in a tough spot, and we treat him like he's not there. So that's kind of like the main goal of Chill Patrol, and we hope to keep doing it over the next few years.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I can tell by the way you're talking about it how passionate you are about this. And Carlo, I gotta say, you're speaking my language right now. Like, this is what I'm extremely passionate about too within the Catholic Church and within our calling. And so I want to point out how you said, it's about recognizing the human dignity of every person. That is what we're called to do. God created each one of us so uniquely and so intentionally. And so to be able to find a way to recognize people's dignity is super beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So you said this was the first summer y'all did it,
yes,
correct?
This was the first summer.
Okay. And so you're kind of hoping to continue on. Do y'all have any hopes or dreams about what it might expand to?
So for this first summer, since Mr. Drew Rao was the one who selected us, and like he saw that, okay, these kids are the OFJ has many opportunities for immersion trips and stuff like this. Like, Bronco Chill Patrol is not the only one where we kind of go out and help the homeless or those who are struggling, right? So we kind of hope to push more information about this throughout the entire school. So the original 12, including me, are trying to, hopefully plan out some event or some big notice to not only our school, but maybe even other schools. Like, hey, if you want to join this is like, you can just kind of sign up and you can just start doing it right away. We're hoping to do this, like, at least a patrol every once a week, get it that common repetition to really help solve this huge problem of homelessness that we see in the city of Phoenix.
Yeah. What an incredible opportunity that would be for different schools to really be able to come together. And, we always talk about, school rivalry and this team versus that team, but how beautiful would it to be, all your opposite opposing teams, but you get to come together to share in this. And then you can still have your rivalry in there. Who can pass out the most water bottles or whatever? You can make it a competition or something. That would be incredible. Not that it's about the competition, but it'd still be fun. Okay, Robyn, we're going to go on to you next. So a couple weeks ago, you shared with me a beautiful story about how you had gone to Steubenville West in Tucson with a group of students from Bourgade. Can you share with us a little bit about your experience there and why it was so moving?
Well, the first thing is I wasn't raised Catholic. I was a Protestant minister with the Salvation Army for 21 years. And so very familiar with homeless work. It's and what you're talking about really quick of dehumanizing is incredible. Like it's totally, when you stop and take the time to spend with them, it changes the whole demeanor of the whole conversation. Mm-hmm. A lot of beautiful things. We can talk more about that later. But so I had this opportunity to go to Steubenville as a driver, but I went to Mass for the very first time probably in April. Mm-hmm. And I'm in the back and I'm just trying to stay out of the way and watch what's going on and what's that mean? What's that mean? And, different things. And I saw all the people going up to the front for communion. And then I saw someone cross their arms over their shoulders like that. And so this one kid didn't go up, and I sat next to him like, hey, I'm new here. I'm not Catholic. Can you explain this to me? And he's like, yeah, that means that they're either just want to be blessed or, they're not really feeling that their heart is right for this today. I'm like, okay. So why aren't you up there? And he's like, well, I don't feel like my head and my heart are in the right place. I'm like, why is that? And he goes, well, I'm an atheist. I go, you are not an atheist. And he goes, how do you know? I go, because you wouldn't be here. An atheist believes there is no such thing as God. He goes, yeah, that's not me. I said, you're an agnostic. You believe there is a God. He just doesn't care about you. He goes, yep, that's what I'm struggling with. I go, well, I just want you to know God's pretty excited about that. He's like, what? I said, God loves it when you ask him questions because he wants to have a relationship where you engage with him. And if you ask those questions, he's going to give you those answers. And he also likes that you're not plastic. You're not a phony. You're not going to pretend just to make everyone else feel like you're like, this is about me and you, God. I don't care about everybody else in here. I'm not going up to make it look like I'm better than I am. I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. So I volunteered to drive bus. No big deal. I used to be in youth ministry for like 20 years. I love working with teenagers. So we're loading up the bus and I see this kid. I hadn't seen him since that time. And he's like, I'm going on the trip. I literally had to walk out of the room and I started sobbing. I'm like, God, you're totally going to touch this kid's life this weekend. I'm so excited. You're going to mess with him in the best way. So anyway, we go and I'm expecting the first service to be like high church, like everything else, very formal, right? It was a rock concert and I loved it. I've got lots of great video I can show you later. So much fun. They were not crowd surfing. Well, a couple people did, but it was so cool. But they went from that to like really worshiping God with all their heart there to like we had 7 services a day, if not more. And they'd be like kneeling. I saw my first kneeler and I wished I would have bought one before I came because we did a lot of kneeling. But then we got to experience the coolest part of all for me was my very first adoration service. This priest was literally the coolest dude. He was so cool. I mean, he could have been having a leather jacket on while he's doing that. I mean, just so cool. The kids were hanging on his every word. But when it came time for that serious part of the service, he's walking around with the cross. And I'm just taking it all in, watching. I watched the kids go from jumping to on their faces, like longing for God. They just wanted to reach out and touch him. These kids were sobbing. And whenever he would come by with, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but is it called?
The monstrance? With where they just in? Uh-huh.
Yes. New word for me.
There you go.
I said it right once. I've tried 8 times. So
you'll get it eventually. Yeah.
I will. And I'm videotaping the whole thing on my phone because I'm like, I hope I'm not. I was worried about interfering, but then I'm like, there's cameras and light shows everywhere. So I think I'm good. So I'm capturing these moments for the kids and I'm seeing them on their faces before God. And then when he comes by me, I'm like, holding my camera. I can't even hold my phone saying, what is going on? I was like, this is crazy. So I just dropped it. I'm like, forget it. So as soon as that was over, they gave a testimony at the front that one of the students who was there, there's 2,000 students there. Amazing. They're from all over the place. They love Jesus so much. And so when this guy gives an announcement that there was a young man who had hearing aids and when the monstrance, is that right?
Yes, monstrance is right.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody high five. When it came by, the kid felt a pop and he took his hearing aids out and he could hear perfectly. And the whole crowd was just like, wow, Jesus, Jesus. They started chanting him like crazy. And that was just blessing me so much. But even still, this did not move this young man who was with me.
Yeah.
Right? By the last service, 4 communions went by. By the last service, he went forward and he received communion. And I was sobbing. I was sobbing because it was a huge deal.
Yeah. Robyn, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. I can tell, similar to when Carlo was sharing, just how much this experience meant to you and how touching it is and how influential it's been in your life. That's really beautiful. And just how much joy there is to be with teenagers, to be in that moment, in those experiences. I think for us who have graduated high school, we're getting old. It's so amazing to be able to go back and to dive into the beauty of being youthful in your faith, and the childlike joy that comes with that. Not that y'all are children, I'm not saying that, but even the Bible calls us to childlike joy, and so to live into that, and how amazing of an influence you all are on us is incredible. So Rachel, we're going to move on to you. So you have founded a chapter of Stop Drowning Now. Can you tell us more about this movement and what you were working on this summer, what inspired you to get into this?
So basically, the beginning of my junior year, I knew that I wanted to become more involved with the community. I knew that I had a place in this community, and I knew that I could help somehow. And since I'm a swimmer, I've been swimming all my life, you hear a lot of stories, especially in Arizona, about drownings and about child drownings and how most of the time they're so preventable. And if these children or if these adults, it can happen at any age, have the proper resources and the proper knowledge of what they can do to keep themselves safe in the water and safe outside of the water, that none of this would be happening. And so I knew that I could use my voice to kind of deliver these messages, deliver these resources and this knowledge to other people. And so I started interning with 2 different organizations, drowning prevention organizations. One was the Drowning Prevention Foundation, and one was the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona. And I went to several events. I took pictures at these events. I delivered brochures to local daycares and preschools, and realized that I was really, really passionate about this topic and kind of talking with people and delivering these things. Everyone is open to hearing more. Everyone knows how prevalent this issue is. And so I knew that I wanted to become even more involved in this drowning prevention sort of topic. And I had seen online this Stop Drowning Now organization that allowed you to find a local chapter at your high school. And Notre Dame Prep, where I go, is very, very, very welcoming of new clubs and new chapters and any area where you are helping the community, they want it. And so I decided to find a Stop Drowning Now chapter at NDP. And so this summer, what I did is, since I'm the captain of the swim team, I was able to kind of partner with NDP swim team and kind of form this Stop Drowning Now chapter. And so this summer I went to several local daycares, preschools, camps, and I delivered Stop Drowning Now presentations to these children, these preschoolers. And I, would ask them questions about should we ever swim alone? And if they got the answer right, I'd give them a duck. And it was a very a toy duck. And it was a very engaging kind of conversation where these children were so eager to learn and were so eager to give their thoughts. And some even shared their personal experiences with how drowning has with their brother or like their pets. And it shows you how prevalent this issue is. And by the end of the summer, I had delivered presentations to over 300 children.
Oh my goodness.
And
wow.
So, and I'm hoping to continue to do that. So this year, my senior year, I'm hoping to give more of these presentations to Catholic middle schools that feed into NDP. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that I can just continue to do this.
Wow. Rachel, that is so, I don't even know. I don't even have the words for it. Just that you saw that this was an issue and you said, I'm going to take it into my own hands and it's preventable. I can raise awareness for it. So I'm going to do it. That I think is what I'm seeing from all of y'all. It's just that you're go-getters. Like that kind of sounds silly to be like, you're go-getters, but it's so inspiring to us to see this and to be like, you know what, I can do it. I can be bold in my faith. I can make a difference. Mm-hmm. And often we feel like, maybe especially when you're in high school, when you're younger, it can feel like what can I do? But you're all showing us we can make a difference. And you're inspiring me to be bold in my faith, to be out there, to be ready to see where the Lord is taking me and to make a difference, to not let anything stop me from doing that. So super quickly, we're going to go around. I want to do like a fun question in every episode of the podcast where we say what we would be the patron saint of. So, if we're named a saint by the Catholic Church, what would we want to be attributed to us? So Carlo, do you want to start? We'll kind of go around.
Oh man.
It's a difficult question. I know.
I guess kind of the whole idea of caring. And my patron saint that I was born after, at least what my parents tell me, is Saint Francis of Assisi. So I kind of when I was younger, I did like to base a lot of my actions, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm right, taking care of animals and whatnot, but just the whole idea of caring is I think I would fit into that role best.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, Rachel.
Kind of similar to you, I would say compassion. I think that although in today's society we have made a lot of progress towards kind of viewing everyone with love and care, I do think that especially in a high school environment, there's always progress to be made with showing people compassion and including people and showing people that they're loved and cared for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, thank you. Wow. Like y'all are just so amazing. And Robyn, really quickly, what would yours be?
St. Peter.
Okay. So St. Peter's an inspiration?
Well, he's my favorite character because I have a lot in common with him.
Okay.
I'm not going to be crucified upside down, hopefully, but
hopefully not, but I mean, where the Lord takes you,
right. That's how it goes,
I'm just kidding. I'm so just kidding.
Yeah.
Yep. That's amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. It's been such a joy to meet each of you, to get to know you a little bit better and really learn more about your summer experiences and the difference you're making in other people's lives. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of Prep Rally. If you did, please make sure to share this podcast with others, like, subscribe, and comment below what you want to see on future episodes. Make sure to check back with us each month for our newest episode of Prep Rally.